Uh, Kieran McGovern, boxer Bants, and I'm here with coach, professional coach, and amateur boxing coach of two pros, Michael Corr and Dylan Trainer. Peter Graham. Peter, first of all, how are you
Yes,
doing?
good, all good. What about yourself? Very good.
Yeah,
Doing
just
well.
plugging away. That's all I'm doing. Just
Yeah.
working, and that's really it. Um, so Peter, I know you directly work with Michael and Dylan, who have interviewed in the past, and I know you've helped out with people like Connor Quinn, amongst other people. How is it that you kind of got into from working in Clonard with amateur fighters? How is it that you ended up with two pros under you?
See, Dylan Taylor actually boxed for us for Clonard for about 5, 6 years, and I think he boxed about a year and a half ago, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I contacted him, and I just said, look, he's fell out over amateur boxing, and he would be interested in going pro. But I had already sort of a year before applied for my professional license anyway, because I have a lot of like 16, 17, 18-year-old boxers are hopefully one day to work going to professional level,
Mm,
remain like them remain in Clonard like coaching.
yeah,
So Dylan said, right, okay, do you mind if I come up, we'll do a wee bit then? And it just went from there. So I just wanted to see where his fitness was, and it was dead on. And I got on to Dennis Morrison, that no boxing Ireland promotions. Just got the ball rolling from there. Dennis wanted to actually have a look at him sparring first. So he done a couple of rounds rolling with Aileen. He was very impressed. And then they came the week later and he signed him up, basically.
yeah,
So, and then at the time, Dennis was actually signing Dylan. He was signing Michael Corr as well, but I hadn't got Michael Corr that time. I think he was training for someone else. But a few weeks down the line, Michael contacted me and said, look, would you mind training me? And I need a trainer. I said, look, come down and have a wee look at you, no problem. And it just went from there, obviously. So got the two of them then. They're training away at the minute, though. They just get their fitness up. As I say, you don't know if anything's going to happen this year, but hopefully it does. And they'll be ready. So I'm
mm,
excited for the two.
yeah. What was your feeling at that time? Because there's this thought process of a lot of people saying that amateur and professional, it's almost like two different sports in terms of how it's laid out, and it the pro game is essentially like a business as well as that. Was it in any way daunting to you? Obviously you had a mindset to be a pro coach eventually, but was it
Yeah.
any way daunting when someone said, "Look, I want you to be my professional coach," when you hadn't dipped your feet into it just that at that time? How was that for you?
No, it was, listen, somebody always thought about it, and when you look at it, you have to start off somewhere. So I may as well give it a go. And I just, Dylan to me, his style would suit the pros anyway. So I just went for it. We'll give it a go, and so far it's working. And as I've worked with Dylan before anyway, I know what way his style is. I know what way Dylan is as a person, and I think he'd fit into pros dead on. And then when Michael came along, Michael's young, he's only 18. He's got, he won't be the most skilled boxer. He's got hunger and he wants to learn. And I love it from a fighter, someone who's willing to learn all the time and pick these things up. And if I can help the two of them reach some sort of potential, even to some sort of take, that would be brilliant for all of us.
Mm,
But pro boxing is something I've always looked into. And one day I hope to be a professional coach. So why not start now? No, I'll be learning along the way as well and
mm,
picking these things up. So
yeah.
that's where it's going.
Um, did you have to rethink things very quickly in terms of, obviously when you're training a lot of amateurs, they're all doing three rounds, short sprint, basically, and then you're like, right, I have these two people here now. Training is going to have to be a little bit different for these two. So did you quickly have to kind of adapt to that?
Yeah, I did. Well, as you know, amateur boxing, I train amateur boxers from 8 right up to elite level. They're basically 3 rounds to 4 rounds, something 3 rounds basically, but amateur boxing's all speed. You have to go out right away, you have to win them rounds, you have to win every round. It's all fast boxing and thinking. Where pro boxing, the rounds are longer. Um, there's more rounds obviously, so you have to slower pace, slowing it down, and you have to be fit as well. But No, we've been putting a lot of work into them too, especially outdoor training. We've been doing a lot of running up Mary Peters track, getting their fitness really up. But they'd be two fit lads anyway, so they would. And she's non-stop training as well. And Michael's young. Michael's 18, Dylan's 25, and their training's bouncing off each other. And no, I'm looking forward to it. I'll pick up these things along the way as a pro coach. But no, I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah.
How did Michael end up being your fighter? Because I know he was training somewhere else originally.
He contacted me out of the blue. See, when he signed professional, I thought he had a coach, and then he contacted me. He said he did have a coach, but I don't know what happened if he didn't have time to train him or whatever. Or he maybe seen what I was doing with Dylan, and I was happy. I said, no problem, come along, see what you've got and what you're about. And no, he's a real nice kid, and he's done everything so far I've asked of him, and he is dedicated. And I don't think Michael had much amateur background. He had a few amateur fights, and then he went down the semi-pro route, only unlicensed boxing. I think he won 4 fights out of 4, and maybe that'll help him in a couple of his early professional fights. With that experience with no headgear, no vest, coming out the music, whatever, along the rounds, the pro sort of atmosphere. But that's where he contacted me, and I said, look, listen, I'd help any fighter out as best I can. I'd never turn anybody away. If they're willing to put the work in and do basically what I'm telling them to do, showing them different things, if they're going to do it, I'd happily train them. The way I look at it. If they're willing to put the work in, I'll put in double the work with them. Make sure they're doing everything right and learning every day.
Stylistically, what would you say the differences between two lads?
Dylan to me would be like a crowd pleasing fighter, hands high, coming forward, all action basically, hooks, uppercuts, a lot, power shots. Dylan to me will be a good ticket seller and be in all action fights. Where Michael's more of a thinker, more of a boxer, likes to pick his shots, move, think. So you've got one Dylan would be a fighter, Michael would be a boxer, but they're both qualities that they have are very good. So when I like to work with them, I think a fighter you should work with to their advantage. I don't like Ray Dylan's a fighter and brawler sort of thing. I'm not going to try and change Dylan to be a outstanding skillful boxer. And same with Michael. You work with what they've got, and that's what I like about it. It's two totally different styles. And I believe the two of them will do brilliant in the pro game.
You being a coach, obviously you weren't a coach your whole life. Like, how did you get into boxing originally? I boxed myself when I was younger. When I was about 8 or 9, I went to a club, St Agnes's, and then I left because my friend left, and then I didn't go back again until I was about 15. And I went back to that same club again, St Agnes's. I went, right, I'm going to give it a go. I don't know what happened one day. I just said, look, I'm going to go and box. So I went, and I was at St Agnes's for a year or two. I didn't really have that many fights, it wasn't really, to be honest, looked after. The coach at the time had his wee squad of Irish champions, so I wasn't really getting a look in, so I took the odd fight here and there. And then decided, I guess it wasn't for me. I want to move on and be took serious, basically. So I joined the Macalata Club down in North Davis there, in the Falls. And I loved that club from day one. They really made me feel at home. There was obviously all superstars down there. You had like Lindsay, O'Hara, Paul Baker, but they made me fit in brilliant. And I learned, I was in sparring with them boys, learned every day. And what they did is they got me experience. They took me to all different kind of shows. You're fighting him, you're fighting. I was like, no problem. So I just loved the fight. I wasn't really concerned about the time about winning and losing. I just loved the fact they were looking after me, getting me fights what I wanted. And then it got me in a couple of championships, whatever, and I was really loving it. But my brother, Patrick Graham, and another coach, Jimmy McGrath, was talking about reopening the old Clonard boxing club again, getting it up and running. So they did. So I was obviously stuck in a wee bit of a thing. Do I stay at the Mac or do I go with my brother to Clonard? So I made a choice. I moved to Clonard, I think it was about 17 or 18. And I've been there ever since. I'm 38 now. I had a lot of fights rounds. I won a couple of titles. I won the Antrim Intermediates, Ulster Intermediates. I got away on a couple of trips to Cyprus, boxing for Antrim, and I had a couple of victories.
and I was down there All Ireland maybe 5 or 6 times. I didn't win, which I would love to win the Irish title, and then I moved on to elite level and had a couple of huge fights in the Ulster Elites. But sort of when I broke my hand in the Ulster Elites, I sort of gave me a bit of a sickener, to pack it in or what happens, because I did fancy myself at the time, obviously, to win that weight, that featherweight. And then it was weighing up options. I was sort of saying, we don't turn professional, but back then, you wouldn't have got the opportunities that you get now as a pro and over all the shows now. So sort of left it for a while, and then as you know, it's the more you leave it, it's harder to get back. So I was making comebacks, and I was putting weight on, then I just went, you know what, I'm just kidding myself. I haven't got it no more. And I sort of gave a break. But my father, Paddy Senior, and my brother Patrick were coaches in Clonard, and they were torturing me to come down, give it a go, you'll love it. And I was going, no, it's not for me. I couldn't imagine myself coaching, because back then I was a wee bit shy. When I've sort of come out, and I went, all right. So one day I went down, I was about 28, and I just loved it. So I've been there coaching now 10 years. I just loved it ever since I went. I could put in half of what I got out of it, the kids, and learn them. And I just sort of fell in love with coaching, and I'm glad I did make that move, to be honest.
Coaching can be something very rewarding, and it's something that a lot of people just kind of seem to fall into. Was that kind of your thought process, kind of thinking you just kind of fell into it?
Yeah, it's the exact same. It's like you're saying there with your coaching badges, you do the same in boxing. So to be in the corner, you have to sort of have your level 1 coach, which is the coach certificate, which is just basic, like holding up pads, whatever, no basic stuff. And then when I got that, I went, I'd like to take it further and learn more. So I went and done my level 2 coaching, which was a bit more advanced, more skill technique to it. That was a couple of weekends I'd done that and passed that. And then I come up for an international 1-star, which allows you to be on the coaching for like a high performance team, to take away like an Irish team to like major tournaments. I went and done that in Dublin. That was a week long. That was very good, and I passed that as well. So I have the all certificates behind me, in amateur boxing as well. I'm a professional coach now too, but in amateur, I've took away an Antrim team to Spain. I've took away as a coach an Ulster team to Germany in the multi-nation. And my main goal is to take away an Irish team. So that's why I keep progressing though. I want to keep getting better and keep learning. As I say, you're never a finished article. You're always learning this game, and I want to learn. So that's what happens. I'm just taking steps each way just to make myself better and improve. And then I can put that into my fighters and make sure they're improving also.
It's funny you say that about not knowing everything. I'll never forget the first badge I did, and the fella stood at the top of class, and he said, just letting you all know, this is the best piece of advice I'll ever give you. He says, if the moment you think you know everything and you don't need to learn anymore, you know it all, he says, pack it in and stop coaching, because you're no good to anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
He said,
you're
no good to anyone.
I agree,
because your players and to yourself.
I take in all sorts. See, any coach, older coach, like my father and all, I'd listen to him, even though that. Other coaches, I'd listen to everybody, and then I would take in and go, right, that sounded good, I never knew that. I always think the moment you stop learning is when, as you say, you should just give it up, because there's no point.
Do you, because I know like coaching can be quite rewarding when, I imagine when you're instructing people to do certain things, you're seeing them replicate it in the ring, or they're developing a certain technique or a skill, and you're seeing them taken into a fight. But in boxing, sometimes you don't always get what you deserve in terms of results and things like that. And what is your attitude when, let's say, you've coached someone and you're saying, right, this is our game plan going in. They've done the game plan. In your opinion, they've won the fight. Do you kind of concentrate more on the performance itself, how they've taken it out, or is it more frustrating for you when, lads get robbed, which is prevalent in the amateur game,
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. It is very rewarding when you're, especially in the corner, when you're in the corner there's a crowd, everybody's shouting different instructions to your fighter. And then in the corner you've given one instruction to do and people shouting it. And sometimes I know as a boxer myself, I get trained it as well. When the crowd gets you going, and they tell you those champions doing it's not working, but you always listen to your corner. I know it's hard, but I keep using my father for instance, Paddy. See, no matter who's boxing and he's there, you can always hear his voice, and it always works. So whatever he shouts. Next example, when Clonard Quinn's boxing a couple of times amateurs, the crowd's really loud, but you can always hear my daddy's voice. Do it now, and Connor does it, lands, you go, geez, that's brilliant. And it is very rewarding when you tell your fighter a tactic or shout something and he does it to win, and he wins, it's brilliant. But I have seen him at time a lot of wrong decisions as well in boxing. It makes my blood boil. I've been pulled a few times, and I'm a bit vocal when it doesn't go my way. At times, and I'm being pulled. But listen, that's just how passionate I am about it. The fighters are hurt, and I am hurt, and that's just my passion in the boxing. I want them to win, I want them to succeed. If they don't win, and they don't deserve to win, not 100%, that's right. But if it's took away from them by judges or whatever, it just really annoys me at times. I try not to get involved in that side of thing, get in too much into it. But all I care about at the end of the day, my fighter, talking amateur, get into a championship, I just make sure he's 100% ready, and they're giving it a fair game. Good judges around the ring saying everybody sees it the way they should see it. I just hate sometimes when they go down, and then I've been told basically now there's no point in arguing, and I don't do it no more. Look, if the decision doesn't go my way, I walk away, because I've argued in the past and I don't seem to be getting anywhere. So, and then I don't want it to reflect on the fighter as well. His coach, he's a yap and all. And, I just get on with it. I just say, suck it up, move on, we'll go again. All you can do is get in and fight and try to win, and that's it. Everything else is out of your hands, basically.
Yeah, crazy game. Yeah, well, look, Pete, I think we've covered a lot there, and it's really interesting, and I really enjoy getting to know you and about your background. Yeah. But really appreciate your time. I'll let you know in advance when I'm posting it, so I'll probably put Michael's up next week, and then probably yours the week after. So I try to spread that all out with this COVID stuff, So yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
But thanks very much for your time, Peter. Really appreciate it.
Brilliant, thank you. Thanks very much as well.
Thank you. Okay, I'll chat to you soon now.